All right, welcome back, everybody, to the Jug Dealers Podcast, where we talk about all things cannabis and lifestyle related. And we are doing a pre-Berlin show today, so we're going to have some very interesting guests. But before we get to that, of course, we want to make sure that everybody knows to go to jugdealers.net for our landing page, whether it's the shop, whether it's our Jug Club, whether it's the VIP growers list. All of our good stuff currently is to be found at jugdealers.net. And, of course, you can always find out where we're going to be around the world, hopefully, as well as we do have our bookings page there, which you can also request bookings as well. Josh, I don't think I'm missing anything on that end, am I? I think I've done all the formalities.
If you're going to MJ Berlin, jugdealers.net/MJ Berlin. Other than that, good to go.
Yeah. So everybody, I know we've been talking about this a lot, but we will see you there. This is right before the show starts, so this is our last show before the show. So very excited to see you guys there. And one thing we wanted to talk about, because of course, you know, us being in the U.S. and being on this side of the pond, I think we often think that what we have over here is the best, and naturally we like to assume that the product we have to consume over here is the best, whether it's extracts, whether it's flower, whether it's edibles. But, you know, there might just be some people that would dispute that, believe it or not. And so we are bringing in a few of our very good friends from different places around the world. And we actually want to start with my very good friend, Ben, who is from Dutch Garden Supplies. And one of the big things about that is, just so everybody knows, I know we've got a bunch of UK and German and Spanish listeners. So listen up here real quick. DGS, Dutch Garden Supplies out of the UK, is our distributor into Europe, into the UK as well, because I guess they're not technically part of Europe anymore. But you can get our stuff through them in Spain, in the UK, and in Germany. You will see them displaying Winterfrost and Ruby Fulvic in their booth, and they will be actually distributing our newest products that we are dropping out of our booth, which is Hall 21A booth D107 is where you can find the Jug Dealers. Both myself and Gabe will be there all weekend. Did you hear that? All weekend doing an exclusive drop. So anyway, I feel like all the formalities are out of the way. Ben, thank you so much for tying in with us. Thank you because it is quite late there in the UK right now. We will be seeing you very soon. In fact, we're technically together already in Berlin right now. But Ben, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and, you know, how long you've been in the industry and, you know, kind of what you've done, who you've been with, and give us our little elevator speech if you don't mind.
Yeah, sure, of course. Good to see you, by the way, bro.
Likewise.
So started off in the industry roughly 12 years ago. Worked for a Dutch magazine called The Soft Secrets. Some people may be aware of that. It was like one of the old school Dutch cannabis publications.
Gotcha.
So I started working with those guys, left the corporate world, couldn't be bothered with the corporate world anymore. Always been passionate about the plant, love it. And decided to take that career step. From there, I got into UK hydroponics. So representing some pretty big brands, likes of Canna, and worked for Highlight Horticulture, which was the largest at the time, you know, and still is the largest distributor in the UK. And for the last 2.5 years now, I've been focusing more on the European market as well as the UK still. But obviously with legalization changes and countries changing, Germany obviously predominantly being the main one, got into the European side, and that's kind of also opened up doors into representing some other good US brands that are really selling medicinal commercial entities as well.
Right. And obviously, you know, you guys have distribution that's set up there in Germany, which I guess, you know, I always looked at it as, you know, Germany, you know, as being a bit of a kind of a 3-pack with Austria and Czech Republic as well. And it seems like some things, because Germany is gone, obviously those markets are kind of, you know, looking around a little bit more. And, you know, and obviously you've done work in Spain, and really you've been chugging around anywhere where there's opportunity in Europe for the last couple of years, right?
Absolutely. I mean, to be honest, with the European shows, naturally the business in Europe it's a lot easier to do business within Europe. Yeah. So as soon as Germany came on board, you know, there's even Spanish companies looking at the German market, as you say, the Czech market, the surrounding Danish, Swedish.
Sure.
It's all growing alongside the German market, really, and that's not just the kind of the hydroponic side, but the medicinal side as well, because Germany imports so much from all the legalized countries.
Well, so not only, that's just something interesting that people may not know is that Germany imports a ton of their medical, like even when I was over there the first time, Ben, when I did the show over there in Dusseldorf with you a few years back, I remember they were getting it from the medical spots, five euros a gram, and it was straight from Quebec. It was all from Canada. It was all imported from Canada, right? So obviously not only does Germany have to set up, to take care of themselves rather than importing it all, and believe you me, Germany is definitely the type of country that goes, we'll figure it out ourselves. We're going to do this. But then also, they're trying to figure out the medical market. And even from what I understand, I think Berlin already has some smoking clubs opened up. Is that right? I think,
they're not actually smoking clubs. So the difference with like the Spanish model,
right?
The Spanish model, you turn up, you pay your membership, you can go in, have a smoke, chill, relax. Whereas the social club model in Germany, they're allowed to grow on site for amount of members. You can go there to purchase it, but you're not allowed to physically be on site to smoke it.
Okay, so maybe there's pool tables and a place to hang out and get some juice or whatever, but it's not a consumption site. It is merely a purchase site. I guess I did not really understand that. I did not understand that. So they are operating, but not. It's not a smoking club.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. There's a lot of events. There's a big cannabis community in Germany, so they have a lot of these offshoot events where smoking's totally fine and accepted.
Right. Absolutely. That's great. Again, here I learn something new every day as well. That's fantastic. One of the other things that we wanted to kind of discuss. I mean, where do you, I guess where has your favorite? Well, number one, talk a little bit about the UK medical market, only because I don't think people understand, it's opened up quite a bit on the medical side, right? Maybe not in the sense that it's that easy to get a card, but there's a decent amount of card holders out there, and medical grows in the UK now, right?
Yeah, the truth of the matter is, mate, is if you have the money. So unfortunately, you can't go to the normal and get prescribed cannabis, but you can pay a consultant who will prescribe you cannabis. You can buy it for anywhere between realistically £5 to £9 a gram.
Okay.
And it will come through the letterbox the following day. now that is the UK crazy to where we were a couple of years back.
Well, that's why I mentioned that, because I don't think people realize, like, I mean, I went there and did, the summer social years ago and some shit like that. And I mean, it was like, this should not be happening here. I mean, this is this is like, we're in dangerous waters here, and many people who would say, oh, mate, it's not happening now, and it's not happening tomorrow, and it's not ever happening. So it really has come a long way. Why do you think that is? Money?
I think big money have finally realised that there's a hell of a lot of smoke in the UK, and the government dealing drugs is better than gangsters and drug dealers.
Yeah, so which I mean, I think there's a part of it, even in the U.S. where, you look at legalization, the youth, like, their consumption rates are absolutely going down. It's proven, right? You're taking the outlaw element out of it a bit. Like, we can obviously agree on some level that, that's going to work. Now, is the quality of the product going to go up or down? Well, I think we can also agree that probably it's going to go down if you put it in the control, of the government. But I think a lot of people that, maybe haven't been to the UK or don't really think about it, when you're, it's an island, right? I guess technically it's connected by a tunnel, but that obviously wasn't all the way through history. So, they've always had to, there's been a lot more growing from within rather than trying to get it across the borders. Is that safe to say? It's like, well, we're an island. You either try and get it across over here, that's a pain in the ass, or we can just grow it ourselves. So there's always been a very healthy growing community in the UK.
There's some seriously passionate guys in the UK.
Thank you. Yes, there really is.
So, in kind of listening to what you were saying earlier about, the Americans thinking they've got the best weed, this kind of, you've been, if there's a curve, right? Let's just say there's a curve in always getting better, new practices, new methods, new lighting, new this, new that, new product, new nutrition, whatever, new genetics, more importantly. And you guys have always been ahead of us in the curve.
Sure.
For sure. It's like, what's happening to America. We look at the old forums, you see when the old OG Kush and stuff started coming over into Europe, it was crazy for us. Like, yo, what's this?
Something other than cheese? What?
One thing I will say is that for me, obviously I've traveled around America. I've been into some commercial grows, seen craft grows, been into CSC grows in Germany, seen grows in Europe and here. in the UK. And I think ultimately the best weed is grown by the best growers with passion. So it's ultimately the genetics and it's how much love you put into it. And that's the best smoke I've had. No matter who it is, anywhere in the world. You know, you've got Absolute Booth in America and you've got Absolute Booth here.
100%.
You've got Absolute Booth in Germany. And as well, you've got absolutely beautiful flower in all three of those places, you know?
Yep. No, you're totally right. And, you know, one of the things I love to ask, there's a couple of questions that I like to ask. And to be honest with you, you already answered the first one, and it's funny because I think passion is one of the things that almost inevitably is always what comes up with this. But I like to ask, you know, obviously if somebody is a grower, although this particular question can be asked to a grower or a consumer, which is why I like asking it, but you know, what do you think it takes to truly be a great grower? And obviously in one word, your answer is passion. And that's what I would say too. You know, somebody with, you know, real passion for the plant and a passion for excelling and learning and, you know, all these kind of things. Right. So it's funny because I've been doing these a little bit, you know, kind of on and off. I'm going to do some of them over there in Germany too. Because the other one, and I'll go ahead and ask it too. And this actually came from my man, GRAMBO, the man behind the glass, my wonderful producer that we have over there. If you had a secret weapon and you could say you had a secret weapon in growing, Ben, what would it be?
If I could have a secret weapon.
What more specifically, what's your secret weapon? Now, again, that might be the same answer that it is for the first.
I'll be honest with you, and this is what I've always told people when they started, and that's don't cut corners. If you think it's not going to be okay, it's not going to be okay.
It's not okay. And that's the kind of answer I was looking for, by the way. That's exactly that because you know why? It's not a secret weapon. That's the secret weapon. Yeah. Well, I appreciate that, Ben. I really do. This has been a great chat and a really good addition to, you know, our pre-Berlin show. Do you have your booth number off the top of your head? I know you're close enough to us, but I don't remember what yours is. Ours is Hall 21A. I think you're in 21A or 21B, maybe?
We're on 21B, but I'm not sure the exact.
Okay. Well, they are in 21B, Dutch Garden Supplies. They've got a great setup. We will have Josh D with us as well. I know they're going to have some stuff for a Josh D Genetics giveaway that you can pick up from them. Ben, if you want to give any details out on that. I'm not sure what the exact details, but I know it's a little bit of I don't want to call it a scavenger hunt, but almost somewhat sort of, right?
Yeah, so we're involved with a German company called Grodime, and they're doing this really cool kind of giveaway in which you collect like stamps from all the different places, all the different companies that have been involved. When you get to the end, you collect a goodie bag, and those goodie bags, from what I'm hearing and what I know we've put in there, I think it's €20 or €25 for
to get in on it.
Walk.
Yep.
One thing I'd say to anybody is do it, because some of the prizes and the gifts that some of these companies are putting in there for that money, it's ridiculous.
It's insane. And we're actually we're adding into that, and I know that we're on your guys' flyer too. You can come by and get in. We're giving away 5 different packs of Josh D Genetics as part of that giveaway, in conjunction with everything that DGS and all the other people are giving away. And obviously, like I said, 21A D107. You can find us. It'll have the big Blastogen backdrop. It'll be hard to miss. Ben, very much looking forward to it. See everybody at the show here real soon. We'll have our next guest on here in just a little bit, but as for Ben and Dutch Garden Supplies, they'll be seeing you there. Thanks a bunch, Ben. Talk to you soon. Ace. All right, everybody. We are back here with the Jug Dealers Podcast. We're doing part 2 of this particular episode. We did part 1 with my good friend Ben from Dutch Garden Supplies, talking a little bit about what's going on in the world in cannabis, who's growing the best, who has the most passion for it. So as promised, I wanted to bring on a couple other of my good friends with a legit international perspective on the scenario. So we have here my very good friend DeVille with Golden Goose out of South Africa. What's up? You guys recognize my other very good friend Jerin here, who is with Dutch Lighting Innovations. He's obviously done some wonderful light interviews with us, and very pleased to have both you gentlemen here. We're on site. We're in Berlin. It's going down this week. Super excited. All the folks that are coming and getting the exclusive drop with us, we will see you very, very soon. So without further ado, I just wanted to kind of run through a couple of questions again as a continuation of where we started with this thing. And I guess let's just jump right into it, right? So First off, the reality is there's a lot of different ways to do things. We all know there's a million different ways to skin the cat. A lot of people, maybe heavily in the US, think that naturally we're always growing the best cannabis, but there's a lot of good work going on other places. DeVille, where do you think, not only have you seen some of the best cannabis growing, but also the culture that's really still alive and still going on and still prevalent today?
Okay, so yeah, as a South African, initially we start with, we're like 10 years behind the rest of the world. So it's just generic weed around. Then we start traveling, we go to Spain, we go to Thailand, we go to Berlin. And then, when you get there, you kind of realize there's oaks out there that fucking push some dank weed, bro. If I had to identify like one specific place where I think the Americans are left behind, I would say Barcelona, and a specific brand like Uncle's Farm. They just do it differently there. It's like top tier flower, stuff that you don't get regularly anywhere around. I would also say even the South Africans, even though here and there it's far and in between, but there's certain growers in SA which have given me, locally, very, very great grown weed, terpene, THC numbers are high. So yeah, I think the rest of the world, it's not all American based, I would say, even though we all look at America and like use it as a bar to evaluate ourselves. Places like specifically Barcelona and then like SA, they're catching up and they're going to give the Americans a go.
Well, and there's no doubt that in SA, I really, you guys know that I made the trip down there a couple of years and had a wonderful host here that, thank God for DeVille, it would have been a little bit different. I was super impressed with the culture there, the appreciation, the love, and the respect for the plant. And that's one thing I will say that really did impress me. And people wanted to learn. Ask questions they wanted to.
I guess the thing is with SA culture, it's very raw still.
Yeah.
So it's like 10 years or 15 years behind the rest of the world. There's so much still that can happen. It's almost like we have an open canvas.
Right. Well, and you're on yeah.
People are hungry to get involved. People are hungry to, paint it out.
Yep. Absolutely. No,
and I do think if they get it right, they can give the whole world a run for their money.
Well, and we've had many discussions about this. Maybe we'll have a full one about it someday, but I do not disagree with that. I think with the agricultural history and culture and again appreciation, I think they've got a real crack at it. Okay, thank you, wonderful answer. Jerin, obviously you have also traveled really, all over the world. You do a lot of work in Canada, Thailand. Clearly, you've been in South Africa doing work down there. What do you think? Where do you think the best culture and people are really trying to push the envelope and respect the plant?
So I think the culture is a little bit everywhere. What I do see from like the North American perspective is because of the legal market, it's become more of a normal thing where normal branding also takes over. So you get a more generic product where people buy on name and quality is a number on a jar. And that is for the majority of the market. But the real people that love the plant are still there. It's just a smaller group. That's much more a community still. And in the countries where legalization is happening or not yet happening, you really have this underground culture that's much more vibrant in a way, bigger also.
I guess underground always drives the legal side of things.
Well, and it's, and not to, dive off too far, but, just the difference in the black versus the white market and as things change and there is a shift in culture, but to your point, it becomes normalized as well. So it also opens itself up to a whole other aspect of society, whether it's salves or tinctures or balms.
For instance, if you look at the Netherlands, which is the longest legalization in the world, a lot of people in the Netherlands have some sort of weed culture around them. But it's more about the culture of smoking the weed with their friends and meeting up, necessarily than the plant or the specific genetics.
Interesting.
I think we discussed this before also. You see this in some trade shows like the MJ BizCon, where there's less of a focus on the cultivation side, but more on the aftermarket
Post-production, marketing, everything else. Yeah. And that's been interesting for me to see in the US, is that shift from it becoming a valuable commodity basically to, in a way, a baseball card. People wanted to collect these things, and it became something different. The way you had to market it wasn't just what was in the bag, where before it was always, the nose knows whatever's in the bag, that's what's going to sell it, So very interesting. I like that. That's getting me thinking a bunch, obviously. Okay. Question number 2, and we'll start with you so that, we can go back and forth a little bit, give each other a little crack at it and hear the other person's answer. Okay. What do you think truly makes a great grower?
It's a very loaded question.
Yes, it is. That's intentional.
The most important part is having a plan and sticking to it, and then adjusting afterwards. Don't change 3 things at the same time. Work on small increments of changing something, seeing the efficacy of it, and then making a decision to further change. And
at a base level, that is essentially the definition of science, is a reduction of variables, trying to get it to one variable, prove that variable, and then move on, right? So I always tell people this: we're dealing with an annual plant. If something goes wrong, you're not going to fix it this round. It's already done. Take good notes, change something the next time, right? Because we can't just keep defining insanity and doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different outcome.
And
that would be insane.
Start simple. Don't use the highest light level, the highest EC values. Try to start at the safe value, have a good crop, then proceed to incrementally increase and get the best out of it. It's the only way to learn quickly. Otherwise, you might find out how to do it after 5 or 6 failed crops. But if you have a good crop and you make it incrementally better, you're also making a profit while finding out what you're doing.
Well, small moves, small mistakes, big moves, big mistakes. Big mistakes take people out of the game. It takes businesses out, takes growers out. You got to move in incremental steps. Yeah. Okay. Well, now for you, I like that. You've been thinking about this for a little while. I gave him a little bit. DeVille, what do you think truly makes a great grower?
Be teachable, firstly. I've seen a lot of growers get to a certain level and think then they figure it out. When it gets to cultivation, I don't believe there's figuring it out. There is no bottom of the rabbit hole.
There's no end.
Even if there is a bottom of the rabbit hole, there's a lot of variables that can happen in between.
There's a whole other rabbit hole to go down at that point.
Yes. So be teachable. And then also, when shit hits the fan and shit goes haywire, don't back off. Go to your roots, scale down, like for argument's sake, in this case, lower light level, maybe the nukes. There's simple things you can change. Don't do too many changes because it takes weeks to see it in the plant, really.
But back it off. Be a little softer. Back it off,
bring it back, and then see how the plant responds. A great grower can also read the plant's responses, in my opinion.
So what I used to see a long time ago is people who grow the first time actually have a successful crop.
Yes.
Because they just do the simple thing. They take a soil that has nutrients in it. They just put some water and it works. Then the second round, they try to improve on everything and then
keep it simple, stupid.
KISS method, keep it simple, stupid. And it's funny you say that, Jerin, because I always say that my best growers are my beginning growers and my experienced growers. It's the people in between that think too much, right? Because again, the beginning grower takes the chart I give them, runs it to a T mils per liter, like doesn't even think, doesn't know to think, runs it all, smashes it, right? The experienced grower knows to at least get a baseline. He's not going to jack around the first run. He's going to do it by the numbers I get, and then as a grower, adjust, right? And so again, I like that. Teachability, adjustability.
Be able to read your responses in your plants. Get in your grows. Don't sit there and flip a switch on a timer so that it feeds there. Get in between your plants. Because the people that call themselves master growers are fucking not master growers, bro.
I'm not going to say that.
Next year you have a massive, let's say you do an outdoor crop, the hail comes or the storms comes, they fuck your whole crop up. What are you going to do? You're going to take it on the chin. You're going to prepare for the next year. and you're going to plant the seeds and hope it goes better.
And if anything, a farmer is adaptable, right?
Yes,
and
you
a
have to be
farmer
adaptable.
is willing to persevere.
Yes,
And
that's actually the term I was wanting to get.
Perseverance.
Perseverance. Don't give up. Push through. Not every grow is going to go the way you expect it to go.
No, there's ideal, and then there's real. Most people never even get an opportunity to work in the ideal world. Most of us shoot for that, and then we get here. If you shoot for the moon and you end up in the stars, you're still pretty fucking high.
Well, it's also a shit in and shit out.
Shit it, quality in, quality out. Shit in, shit out. It goes both ways.
If your room is shit, then it's never going to be great.
Well, and that was what we were talking about earlier, the law of the minimums, right?
Yes.
Your maximum is tied to your scarcest resource, right?
You
And
can have one of your components can be the best, but there's a few things underneath that foundation or above that foundation.
All your components could be the best, and one's off, that's your maximum, because that's now your scarcest resource, right?
Yeah.
It's an interesting concept for people to take on, but it's really, really applicable for what we're
I've
doing.
seen a whole number of facilities that grow amazing plants, and then by the time it goes to the drying, they fuck it up.
Yep.
You see that more regularly than you think, and you see it all over the world. It's not maybe even linked to a certain.
I would say, unfortunately, it's more
because,
the rule than the exception.
Money probably drives it. Because remember, the longer that flower sits, the
Not
more
probably.
cost.
Yeah, of course.
At the
Turnover.
end of the day, what we talk growing, but there's a money aspect involved in this too, guys.
And there's a marketing aspect, and there's all these other pieces of the pie,
But
right?
We're doing it to make money.
Exactly.
Well, the general folk, we have a mission and a purpose, and we believe we're working with God's plant. But also at the end of the day, we can make money with it.
Well, I mean, we have to make a living, right? I
Yeah.
mean, it's it's still something that we've chosen to dedicate our life to, but also need to make a living. We got to put food on our table, right? All right. This is a really good conversation. I appreciate it, and thank you guys for sitting down. We're on site
Thank
trying
you
to pull
for
this
coming
off.
all the way out here.
You're very welcome.
For our friends from far,
Very
from the
happy.
States.
Very, very happy to be here. That's for sure. All right. Final question. DeVille, we'll start with you because we're going back and forth. We're ping ponging here.
No, 100%.
If you have a secret weapon when it comes to growing, what is it?
I think we spoke about it earlier, and I might have answered it in my previous question. But I guess the secret weapon,
Don't give up.
yeah, don't give up, is it? But it's almost too simple to say that.
But is it?
And then I want to say, when you don't give up, be teachable. But I've said it just now, which also makes it
Yeah.
simple.
Yeah. These things are intertwined. There's no doubt. Yeah.
The superpower around cannabis, I think I might need a minute or two to think about it.
All right. You know what? All right. Defers. He defers.
I'm going to defer. It's not that I don't have an answer.
Jerin, what do you think? If you have a secret weapon, or if you think a secret weapon actually exists?
Well,
What
I
is it?
think if you have a good facility going and a good company going, you shouldn't always necessarily follow the hype.
Okay.
And stay true to yourself.
Okay.
I
So-
think I have my answer.
So hold that. So stick to the program. So if you have a beginning goal and it's working, don't listen to the noise. Stick to the program. Okay. Stick to the program. DeVille, back to you.
It's going to be outside of the commercial mindset.
It's okay. We're not, this is,
How can I say this? Fuck, now I'm eating a blank again. It's that joint that we smoked.
and keep in mind, he may speak really good English, but
Yes.
it's English is not either of the
Afrikaans.
guys' first language, just so you
I'm
guys
thinking
know.
that now in Afrikaans, but I'm gonna drop it now. The secret weapon to growing cannabis is treating the plant with respect and as a sacred. It's something sacred. It's not just a commodity that you make money off of.
It's not something you just take advantage of.
Yes. So I don't know if that answers your
Well,
question.
funny enough, that's sort of
Respect
along the
the
lines of what I
sacredness.
said. It's be true to what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yes, it can be that too, but also respect the plant.
Well, here's the thing, and I know we've all had these conversations. We've seen great rooms, proper genetics, the spirit and the love and the vibe wasn't there, and she didn't give back. She can be a fickle broad.
She
Okay?
can. I've been up and down in cannabis. I've had the best times with the most money flowing in, and I've had the worst times with the most money flowing out. And the times when money didn't come into our pocket is the times we didn't respect said plant. Your relationship with the plant changes. So if you can as a base always respect what you work with and give her the respect, and I call her
it is her.
Yes. I'm sure that if I had to put an answer on a secret power, is honor it with respect.
Perfect.
And she will take you around the world, show you things you've never seen in your life.
This is true.
It's happened to you, it's happened to me, it's happened to him, it's happened to our guest sitting outside of the cabin.
Yep, you're right.
It can take you all around.
It can take you everywhere. I mean, it literally is taking me all over the world.
Doors into the coolest parties, the coolest events.
Yep.
My whole life is built on it.
So stick to the program and always respect the plant.
Yes.
Okay. I like that.
Too cliche.
I like that. No, I don't think it sounds cliche at all, to be honest with you. And I'll go ahead and answer that last question myself too, just because it's something like that. I always like to, I think what really makes a great grower, and I think the difference between a good grower and a great grower is a great grower does the shit that they don't want to do, but they know they have to do. That shit where you're leaving the next morning at 6 a.m. to head to the airport, but you go in and you see some bugs or some shit and it's 10 o'clock at night and you're like, this is the last thing on earth I want to do. But this is what I got to do. And that's part of respecting the plant as well. Right. Because I don't even exactly. And I personally take offense with our egocentric view of the plant. I don't even like the word grower. We don't grow shit.
No, fuck all.
They grow themselves. If it weren't for them, there would not be us. Heterotrophs and eat an autotroph. We either eat the plant or eat something that ate the plant. Somewhere along the lines, that's getting consumed in one way, shape, or form. So that's the way I've always looked at it. It's like the guys that just do what needs to be done when they really, really don't want to do it. That to me is what really separates
like
people.
The discipline in certain, like let's take for argument's sake, sake making, or in Japan the sword making. Those specialists or pros in that specific discipline do all the mundane things the most disciplined.
Yes, the cleaning shit, the wiping it all down, all the little between stuff, little between sets. It's kind of like we were talking about a chef, the whole mise en place. It's like I'm grabbing for a knife after I should have had the knife already out, right? They've already got the knife out. They've got the water boiling. They've got it all set up because it's mise en place. You know what I mean? And people that really understand process and how to think of it like that, are definitely going to be successful in this game. There's no question. Do you guys have any questions?
Yes,
for me?
I'm going to start with Jerin, guys. So I'm always dying to ask people this. Jerin, who are the shoulders of the people you stand on? Who do you look up to? Who brought you to where you are today in the cannabis?
And who did you climb on top of to go?
Is that one question or three questions?
This is a lot. It's more of an accident, really.
Well, get us into it. People don't often think about this. I asked Jerin earlier and I could see the brain ticking.
That's not really one for the podcast.
Not really one for the podcast. I'm not sure you don't have to. I'll respect that.
It's, I'll be honest with you. I am rarely at a loss for words. And you definitely got that, a little bit, because it makes me think like why originally, like nothing to do with cannabis even, but like where was that trigger? And there's no doubt I've been a victim of opportunity in my life, been in the right places at the right times, took the opportunities. There's no question. But when I really look back and I really think about it, it goes back to,
give respect to the guys that got you into it,
right?
That taught you something that actually added value in your life that you could take away and go add value to someone else.
Okay. All right.
So that's where it comes down to, we meet many people,
yep.
We travel all over. Maybe this week we're going to meet 500 people each. Half of them don't even know who they respect or who they look up to.
Well, again, that's what made me really, have to think about it. And, first and foremost, I got in the garden as a kid, growing veggies with my dad. And I remember toddling around. Yeah. And for me, when I truly looked back at when I was trying to figure out what the hell I was going to do with my life, that was one of the things I looked back on. I said, before I knew what I liked that. Before I even thought to like, I enjoyed that. And that's something that I, went back for. I will give you a couple other people that have changed my perspective or built, my perspective, because to me, it's not really even about grow knowledge. It's about passion and perspective, right? So first and foremost, I'll give a huge shout out to Capulator. I think he's one of the fucking realest dudes. He's in it for the plant. He's in it for the right reasons. He did things right. I even love how he marketed his brand. I mean, the whole thing. But at the end of the day, he's a real one. You know what I mean? And he's doing it for the right reasons.
If you had to ask him one day, who's the shoulders of the giants you stand on?
Maybe
able to answer
Cap. That? Maybe you know what? I'm coming by your booth tomorrow. I'm going to ask you that.
Yeah, for sure. Like if I take it to myself, I can't identify it to one specific person. But there's a few people that respect the plant, honor the plant, have been what is it when you fight for the legal? Activists for it. It's the people that think beyond the money around cannabis.
Right. But that comes back to the respect, the understanding that, and the reality that cannabis is an amazing plant, but it's also a part of an amazing world, an amazing plant world. It's one piece of a really vibrant and complex puzzle, right? And that's one thing I do love about it. For so many people that think, oh, I'm just into weed, or oh, I only know how to do this. Incorrect. You know plants, you're learning about plants. So that's the last person I would say is, and this is somebody I don't know, although I'd love to meet him someday, but Michael Pollan completely switched the way I thought about plants. That took the egocentric view. Yes. And it took that egocentric view of we're growers, and it flipped it around and said, who's controlling who?
Let me add into the earlier question of what's a superpower perspective as well. Be teachable and be able to switch your perspective.
To step back for a second and look from an outside view and have
you have to show respect to the people that taught you what you know. Yes, it's too many for me to name now, but if I could ask too many people, it's just not tell me, who do you look up to? It's interesting to know.
Well, and I will say one of my favorite quotes of all time is, if I've seen beyond others, it's only because I stood on the shoulders of giants. And that's Sir Isaac Newton, for anybody that doesn't know that. So that's where this kind of reference came from. Guys, this is a really amazing and stimulating conversation. Appreciate you actually sitting down and making it happen. We got a big week this week, so we have been all over the place, busy. But
rip the stalls. Tell us what's happening.
Well, yeah, I forgot. Well, you guys know where our booth's at. We are at Hall 21A, booth D107. DLI is at right across from us.
Pretty much. I'm happy you know the number.
I actually do know the number. And then why don't you tell us a little bit about Golden Goose and some of the other stuff you do?
Yeah, so Golden Goose, we are a hydroponics store in Johannesburg, South Africa. We're trying to, we come overseas to see what's the new cutting edge, newest technology in cannabis so that we can go back and try and educate the people as to how to guide the market. So yeah, basically hydroponic store, visiting the States. We do genetics and clones and all that as well, but that's...
And your page at Golden Goose.
Yes. So the URL is www.golden-goose.co.za. And you can check it out. We have an Instagram handle, also Golden Goose ZA.
When he says ZA, that means ZA, just for... Yeah.
Afrikaans. This is Afrikaans.
Jerin, you'll never find. He's not on social media or anything.
Actually, he is. He doesn't have a lot of followers. Go look for him. What is it? Jerin Dirksen.
So Jerin, Jerin. Yes, we will. Guys, thank you so much for hanging out. Appreciate you watching. Excited to see all the people we're going to see in Berlin this week. Come by, get your exclusive nutrient pack from D107 Hall 21A. Until next time.
And
Dutch Lighting Innovation.
Yeah, for sure. And Golden Goose.
And Golden Goose.
South Africa.
Hit them up.
Guys.
Thanks, guys.
Cheers.
Till next time.
See you guys.